Suspended SARS Commissioner Tom Moyane wants to stall the inquiry into the Revenue Service, calling it a witch hunt. Several bus companies are pleading poverty. They're trying to reverse their decision on a wage deal for drivers. We're live in Cape Town. Good evening and welcome to eNews. I'm Shahan Ramkisoon. Thanks for joining us. Suspended SARS Commissioner Tom Moyane wants the inquiry into the Revenue Service postponed or completely stopped. He believes the probe is a witch hunt. Heidi Jokos reports.
Suspended SARS Commissioner Tom Moyane has been dubbed the Trillion Man once again, and this time by his own legal team. The first leg of the Commission of Inquiry into Tax Administration and Governance at SARS comes to an end. This week saw some explosive testimonies, with Tom Moyane even trying to end the probe. He made an appearance at the last day of the first leg of the Commission of Inquiry into SARS. His advocate Dalian Pofu says the inquiry is nothing but a vendetta against his clients.
Choice of witnesses exhibits that the Commission has prejudged the issue before it and is merely going through the motions to reach a predetermined outcome, which would be patently unlawful. And no amount of timid questioning can mask that fact.
Last on the stand on Friday was former Chief Director of Economic Tax Analysis, Cecil Morden, who highlighted the tax collection issues, especially within the tobacco industry.
So the problem with tobacco started in 16-17, where you expected more increases, and then specifically in 17-18 there was a real problem. Now this goes beyond drop in cigarettes because it's just much lower than anything previously. Yes, we are, and I've tried to show you that percentage-wise we have under-collected, and here this goes beyond a decline in level of smoking and a lower economy. That shows you that we actually are not collecting what we're supposed to collect.
One of the biggest questions the Commission is looking into is what caused a massive revenue shortfall of 50 billion rand under Moyane's watch. The hearings will resume in August. Heidi Jokos, Pretoria.
5 bus companies are trying to make a U-turn after reaching an agreement with unions last month. Putco, Golden Arrow and 3 other companies have applied for exemption from paying salary increases. Unions and employers signed a 2-year deal following strike action. Slindelo Masikane reports.
2 months ago, bus drivers across the country downed tools and took to the streets, demanding better wages and improved working conditions. An agreement was finally signed that would see bus companies increase wages by 9% this year and 8% next year. But Putco and 4 other bus services are now reneging on that agreement. Putco says it wants to pay this year's increase next year. The bargaining council heard arguments from the bus company, which says it simply can't afford this year's increases.
There is also really not been much coming through from our employer, the government. I mean, you've seen during the wage negotiations. So we are in that situation, and having done the retrenchments, it is still not giving us enough to sustain the business.
But unions opposing Putco's application say workers fought for their increases and the bus company is not being truthful as it's already retrenched 220 workers in its cost-cutting strategy. More than 2,500 workers employed by Putco would be affected. This bus driver has been a Putco employee for 7 years. He says he needs the wage increase to make ends meet.
If I don't get increase, everything has just increased. But Putco doesn't see as if maybe we deserve to get an increase.
The bargaining council will have an answer for Putco within the next 14 days. If it grants the bus company an exemption, this means thousands of bus drivers will have to survive without an increase or bonus this year. If not, Putco will have no choice but to implement the wage hike. Slindelo Masikane, Johannesburg.
Supporters of radical economic transformation are warning of tough action if the state touches tribal land in KwaZulu-Natal. Gupta-linked group Black First Land First says the state's move to expropriate land belonging to the Ngonyama Trust is an attack on the Zulu king. Tuba Vilane reports.
Land. It evokes all kinds of emotions in South Africa. Now, supporters of radical economic transformation are warning that if the state touches tribal land under the Ingonyama Trust, it could amount to a civil war. The trust administers about 30% of land in the province.
We are sending a clear message to the government, to the president, sitting president of the country, Cyril Ramaphosa, to never, never think of taking or doing anything to Ingonyama Trust.
The trust's future is uncertain, and there are moves to dissolve it and cede the curatorship of the land to the state. The group, which has openly supported former President Jacob Zuma, says that should these recommendations be implemented, there could be a split in the country. They want KwaZulu-Natal to consider becoming an independent state.
We want to propose to the king is that maybe we should let Ramaphosa run his country, South Africa, and we put boundaries. KZN is a very big province, and it can sustain itself without begging.
The group believes the move is an attempt to unseat King Goodwill Zwelithini.
We need to send a very clear message that, to us, it seems like the leadership of the ANC right now, including Malema, are driven by envy. They are jealous of the king. They look at the king and the respect that he has, and they want to have that. That is why they want to dispossess the king. They want to dispossess African leaders, because they want to be the kings. Malema wants to be the king of South Africa.
The king has called all relevant stakeholders to attend an imbizo on Wednesday. Tuba Vilane, Durban.
Coming up after the break. The Tshwane mayor's meeting with Eersterus residents gets off to a rocky start. Welcome back. Eersterus residents are being urged not to vent their service delivery issues through violence and destruction. The township was rocked by service protests 2 weeks ago. Demonstrators stormed a police station stealing a firearm. Residents held a meeting with city officials to discuss their concerns today. Leranzo Temba reports that tempers flared and some community members walked out of that meeting.
For 3 days, residents of this township went on a rampage over services they are not getting. With the promise that their demands are being taken seriously, residents put their protests on ice. 2 weeks on, and many flocked to the local civic center to hear how exactly the mayor plans to address their needs. Shortage of houses, high unemployment, high crime rates, and drug abuse took center stage at the meeting.
Why must we fight before we get answers? It's not right.
My lights and water is too high. I can't even afford it to pay it.
So we want to provide solutions, but you need to work with us. We're not going to follow you. You must come in the civic center, come where the assistance is, and we'll be able to assist you there.
Msimanga also made residents aware that some demands won't be met as they fall out of the scope of the municipality. But the message of patience didn't sit well with many here. Some decided they've heard enough.
I'm not satisfied with everything what he said now, because why? The feedback was not enough. That's why the whole of the people walk out.
They have conditions telling me that because of this and that, I can't provide the service we promised. And that's our problem.
Only time will tell if the answers the mayor and his team gave to residents of Eersterus on their long-standing issues will be enough to keep them off the streets. Leranzo Temba, Pretoria.
The DA is racing to appeal this week's Western Cape High Court ruling involving Cape Town Mayor Patricia de Lille. But it's not DeLille keeping her job that the party is worried about. The court ruled its Federal Legal Commission was improperly constituted and its findings have been declared null and void. This, of course, has implications on years of disciplinary hearings involving DA members, including premiers, mayors and MPs.
The Western Cape High Court ruling involving Cape Town Mayor Patricia de Lille has far-reaching consequences for the Democratic Alliance. Not only is it about the future of the Cape Town Mayor, but also decisions involving the party's Federal Legal Commission. The FLC deals primarily with disciplinary matters of members and legal issues within the party. And this week, the High Court found the FLC was not legally constituted and that the DA had broken its own party rules.
If that judgment does hold up, however, it has profound consequences for the party. It means that going all the way back to 2011, almost every case that the FLC, the Federal Legal Commission, heard would have not have been properly constituted. And that has implications for a lot of people's membership and contests with the party, from the George and Knysna mayor through to Penny Sparrow.
Recently, the FLC has made high-profile decisions, including findings on Western Cape Premier Helen Zille, who was found to have contravened the DA's social media policy, and most recently, Johannesburg Mayoral Committee member Rabelani Dagada's membership was terminated following allegations of nepotism. But could these and other DA members have a legal leg to stand on if they now challenge the legality of the FLC's findings against them?
There's no point in challenging this judgment until it has gone to the highest court in the country.
Both Zille and Dagada have chosen not to comment on the DA's legal woes or whether they will challenge their respective sanctions, while the DA has confirmed it's appealing Wednesday's judgment in its entirety. Lester Kivat, Cape Town.
International news now. In Thailand, rescuers continue to search for 12 people missing from a football team. The teenagers and their coach went missing on Saturday after entering a cave in Chiang Rai. Heavy rains have flooded its entrance, making it difficult for rescuers to gain access. The U.S. has sent a special operations team to help with the rescue. And listen to this. Economic hardship is forcing Argentinians to go back to the old way of getting things. Residents in one area have formed trading clubs to help them get through a shrinking economy and inflation. The clubs are advertised by word of mouth and social media. Here's a reminder of our top stories. Suspended SARS Commissioner Tom Moyane wants to stall the inquiry into the Revenue Service, calling it a witch hunt. And several bus companies are pleading poverty. They're trying to reverse their decision on a wage deal for drivers.
Welcome to the Weather Center, everyone. We are looking here at this cold front that hit our shores around midday on Friday, introducing cloud and rainy weather into much of the Western Cape. We will stay with showers tonight over the province, with morning showers expected over parts of the Eastern Cape as the cold front continues to move eastwards. We will also see quite a bit of cloud creeping into the southern areas of the Northern Cape. Otherwise, it will be sunny for the rest of South Africa, rather hot over the easternmost parts of KwaZulu-Natal and also over the Mpumalanga and Limpopo Lowveld areas. Rain showers over the western parts of the Western Cape could continue into the evening on Saturday. Now we are going to see mostly sunny skies once again across much of the Northern Cape with mild daytime temperatures. We will stay with a few sprinkles of rain in the morning around Sutherland, where a high of just 12 degrees is expected. Cloudy, rainy and chilly weather continues across much of the Western Cape on Saturday. Cape Town managing a high of just around 16 degrees. We could also see a few sprinkles of rain in the morning for the western areas of the Eastern Cape, and top temperatures for the province are going to once again lie in the upper teens and lower 20s. Sunny and pleasantly warm weather is forecast for much of KwaZulu-Natal, pretty warm for Ulundi, peaking at around 28 degrees. We are going to see clear skies once again across much of Mpumalanga, 29 for the high in Bombela, hotter as we go towards Kukuza. It's going to be pretty warm for the Limpopo Lowveld areas, pleasantly warm for Polokwane, peaking at 24 with sunny weather forecast across the Limpopo province. Sunny conditions continue across the northwest, where top temperatures in the mid-20s are expected for your Saturday. We are also going to see a sunny one across the Free State, Bloemfontein, warming to around 20 degrees on Saturday afternoon. Sunny weather is also expected for Gauteng, pleasantly warm for Pretoria with a high of around 24 degrees. Now on Sunday we are going to see cloudy and rainy weather over the western parts of the country, where it's going to stay pretty chilly. Sunny conditions for the rest of South Africa. Then on Monday, cloudy, rainy and snowy weather can be expected for parts of western South Africa, light rain in parts of KwaZulu-Natal.
And finally, we end off our show in outer space. Earlier today, Elon Musk SpaceX launched an unmanned Dragon cargo spacecraft. The cargo includes an artificial intelligence robot that speaks English.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We have ignition and liftoff. The Falcon 9 rocket powers the Dragon spacecraft toward the International Space Station, laden with new research.
A successful launch carrying some futuristic precious cargo. Also on board is an artificial intelligence bot named Simon.
Great. Let's play your favorite hits.
Also known as the Crew Interactive Mobile Companion. The onboard companion, created by aerospace design company Airbus in collaboration with IBM, speaks English and is the size of a football. Developers say it could mark a trend in the use of technology to assist space explorers.
Here's a reminder of our top stories before we go. Suspended SARS Commissioner Tom Moyane wants to stall the inquiry into the Revenue Service, calling it a witch hunt. Several bus companies are pleading poverty. They're trying to reverse their decision on a wage deal for drivers. Shahan Ramkisoon and the rest of the eNews team, take care and thanks for watching. Good night.